downstairs.
Yeah, you see Molina starting to build off all that work he did in the first round with that left hand. Like I said, he was like saving that right hand for the right opportunities. He found it twice already, and that led up to the lead left hook to the body as well.
I think it's apparent visually that he's putting a little more mustard on these shots, but also as the arena is still filling up here, Chris, vocally you can hear that Molina's putting a little extra on these shots.
There you go, right back.
Another great shot with the left hook upstairs from Molina. Cracked the head back of Valdivinos.
Valdivinos started his career at 154 pounds and has moved his weight down to where he's fighting tonight at 140. Maybe that experience up at higher weights is helping him take some of these shots, but Molina, I think, just took a little bit of a headbutt there. Blinking, but no formal warning from the official after that one. Double jab from Molina and a right hand. Pretty combination there from the 19-year-old.
Yeah, Valdivinos is not really using his jab to close the distance, so you're getting a little bit of that heavy over that front foot, clashing ahead style. So look for that down the line as this fight wears on.
Final 30 seconds of round two. As Molina plants a right hand right along the belt line of Ricardo Valdivinos. Looking very relaxed, very composed.
There you go.
Final 10 seconds here of round two. As Fernando Molina really starting to heat up here in the second frame. Round three begins as Ricardo Valdivinos looking for some answers as far as how to sustain some offense against the young Fernando Angel Molina. Valdivinos has been working in camp with Vincent Parra, who in recent years has helped guide Mo Hooker to a world title. And you know, Chris, we've been mentioning the relaxed attitude, the relaxed posture of Molina in the ring right now. I think that his last fight was an important one for his development, because up to that point, he'd effectively been facing other novices, and sometimes novices with losing records. But Miguel Angel Perez, we fought last time, was 12-11-2, a vastly more experienced fighter with the ability to take care of himself in the ring, but also still with a desire to win fights. Those types of fights often wind up going the distance for prospects. They don't look flashy on BoxRec, but I think they're valuable outings for someone like Molina as far as how to just pace yourself in the ring.
Absolutely. Getting rounds early on is really important. You know, a boxing career is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to learn along the way. And if you're blowing everybody out because of hand-picked opponents, you're not going to get the level of skill you need to develop in the pro ranks when you get to when you actually need it.
Valdivinos trying to go to the body with a right hand. You mentioned the move down in weight gradually for Valdivinos, all the way down from 154 at the beginning of his career. And Chris, he said that prior to his last fight, it was really the first time that he'd ever taken nutrition seriously in his career. He's a personal trainer outside of boxing, but really hadn't thought about what he was eating. He basically said that I work out enough to burn it off, but he decided he'd reached a point in his adulthood and in his career when that just wasn't enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're young and you're working really hard, you know, boxing training burns tons of calories. A lot of times you can get away with that. But if you're looking to be a true professional and really make something of yourself, you've got to focus on every aspect, whether it's nutrition, it's sleep, it's rest, it's, you know, avoiding the social life. You know, these are all things that you learn as a young fighter.
Good work here from Molina, just not letting Valdivinos get set. Swing and a miss there from Valdivinos.
Right back.
And I wouldn't say so far, Chris, that I'm sensing frustration from Valdivinos, maybe a little bit there on the inside, but he certainly hasn't found an answer, and that right hand kind of said to me, I need to change something, because without the ability to plant my feet, Molina's not letting me. I don't know how I can land on him consistently.
Absolutely. Little by little, you see the spirit being broken of Valdivinos. He's coming forward, a lot of aggression, but no punches being thrown.
Round 4 begins in our 6th-round opener in the 140-pound division between Fernando Angel Molina and Ricardo Valdivinos. It has been cruise control for Molina thus far. He's been expertly boxing around Valdivinos, who really just hasn't been able to get anything cooking offensively thus far. Molina again just popping that jab. This is something that you and I saw from Molina in studying his tape prior to this fight and having seen him live a couple of times now. The ability to use that left hand and the ability to turn that jab quickly into kind of like a 45 sort of scoop uppercut, which I know is part of your repertoire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He varies that left hand very, very well, and he uses it to set up his other power punches. I really like what I'm seeing from him. Very smart, very sharp. Valdivinos on the inside. But for the most part, he's been really keeping Valdivinos on the outside and just peppering him on the way in.
That right hand on the inside, probably the best shot of the fight for Valdivinos. Maybe a little borderline as to whether or not that was in the midst of a clinch.
Yeah, they were on the inside. I mean, I'll allow it, but that has been the best punch he's landed. Didn't seem like it had much of an effect on Molina.
A little bit of a tactical change you're sensing here from Valdivinos, just kind of selling out and trying to just weave his way to the inside, because trying to jab his way to the inside, frankly, just was not working. He was getting beat by the left hand of Molina again and again.
If he thinks he can win this fight in any way, shape, or form, he's going to have to let those hands go and go for broke, like you said. He's going to have to get rid of defense, come forward, get cracked with shots like that, but he's going to have to get hit in order to land the shots that he wants.
Maybe the best right hand of the fight for Molina. Connecting a moment ago. Good shot from Valdivinos, though. Another good shot from Valdivinos. A sweeping right hand, but a good counter at the same time from Molina.
Good things happen when you throw punches. And Valdivinos is learning that right now.
Another right hand connects from Valdivinos, and he is fired up.
Come on, be smart, baby.
The best sequence of the fight for the blessed one, Ricardo Valdivinos, who just ate a good left hook from Fernando Angel Molina. When we said this was cruise control for Molina leading up to this round, he's finding some speed bumps right now.
Yeah, Valdivinos has found a home for that overhand right. He's hooking it nicely. It's funny that he found it from a clinch, but has now been landing on the outside.
Final 15 seconds of round 4, and perhaps the tenor of this fight has changed as Valdovinos connects on a right hand that lands right on the chest of Molina as the seconds tick away, but a good left hook right before the bell from Molina.
Quinto.
Home for his right hand. And to your point, Chris, in the last round, it all started with him landing that right hand in the clinch. And sometimes that's all you need. Just land something anywhere, and that could be the turning point.
Well, in the first 3.5 rounds, he had literally not landed anything. So he found that he could touch his opponent. He saw that his left hand was down. He found a home for that shot, landed 3 or 4 good ones in that last round.
Not a bad start for Valdovinos. Again, another right hand, as Molina has not made an adjustment.
That's one thing. We talked about how busy that left hand of Molina is. When you're busy with your lead hand, you're open to right hands. You can punch over or through or in between punches. And when you have someone like Molina who's double, tripling up that left hand, there's opportunities for the right hand over the top.
Looks like the mouthpiece was dislodged from Valdovinos. And that's a really good point, because I think in a general sense, you would think that throwing more than one jab is a good thing, but it's not 100% of the time, if that's all you're doing.
Well, every time you throw a punch, you leave an opening, and there's one right there. You throw your jab, you're open over the top or underneath. And Valdovinos has found the overhand right has been very successful over the busy hand of Molina, busy left hand.
There's a good right hand that connects from Molina, trying to get his right hand working.
Nice body shot there from Molina. He landed some really nice body shots in the first round. Kind of got away from that. Hasn't thrown much since.
Perhaps. Oh, good right hand.
Right hand spins the head of Valdovinos around.
Molina coming right over the top of that right hand, then digging to the body. I think Molina has figured out that, okay, what I was doing before, trying to jab and hook off of that, Valdovinos is hip to that. Let's go to the inside and try something else. And right now, he's doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Valdovinos was taking those shots well earlier when Molina was boxing. Now that they're throwing heavy bombs in the middle of the ring, some of those punches seem to be having more of an effect on Valdovinos.
Well, of course, the larger narrative of this fight is the development of Fernando Angel Molina. And these are the types of fights that are very important for a prospect like the 19-year-old Molina, having to adjust, having to completely switch up your game plan on the fly late in the fight.
Yeah, he's got a man in front of him who wants to win this fight. He saw an opportunity with those right hands, and he's trying to capitalize on that. Molina's got to dig deep, change up his style a little bit, and get it done.
At the same time, if you're Valdovinos, you're liking at least the geography of where this fight is right now. Even if he's taking some punishment, I think we all would agree that the best chance for Valdovinos from jump was for this to turn into a war.
Yeah, we spoke about him going for broke and just coming forward and letting his hands go. He's done that the last 2 rounds, and has had some really good success. Another good right hand.
Good shots connecting from Valdovinos once again. And boy, that is potentially 2 rounds in the bank for Valdivinos at this point.
Valdivinos is doing some really good work, and I believe his punches are actually having more an effect on Molina than vice versa.
The 6th and final round begins between Fernando Angel Molina, the undefeated prospect out of Guadalajara, and Ricardo Valdivinos, 8-1 with 5 KOs. And we mentioned during Valdivinos' entrance what he said. He said that if I want to go somewhere in this sport, I'm going to have to drag it out of the mud. And he's basically dragged this fight out of the mud, Chris, because those first 3 rounds were a whitewash for Molina, and the tenor has entirely changed.
I love the attitude of Valdivinos. He's made this into a very, very fun fight to watch. Like you said, early on, it looked like it was going to be a washout for Molina, but he has been fighting back, landing on the strength of those right hands mostly, but he's making a fight out of this. And potentially could be earning himself a draw if he wins this round.
Good uppercut connects from Molina. Trying to utilize the dimensions of the ring here back to the perimeter, where he was having success in the early rounds. Oh, good right hand again by Valdivinos. And again, you mentioned the possibility of a draw here, Chris. Yeah, Molina's doing some decent work. He's pot-shotting on the outside. But the shot that we remember to this point in this round is the right hand from Valdivinos.
Yeah, it's the thing about scoring, it's subjective. So it depends on what the judge who's looking at it likes. You never know how the scoring's going to go, what angle they're at, but yes, you're right. The more eye-catching punches, the punches that seem to be having more of an effect on their opponent are coming from Valdivinos.
Halfway through the final round here. And really, you have to think, as Molina will touch the canvas there. Oh my goodness, that is a knockdown. What looked like potentially a footing issue will be called a knockdown.
Right back, baby, right back.
And that really changes things here, Chris.
Yes, that makes this very, very interesting. This round, this last minute of this round is going to really decide who wins this fight.
Right there, good, get in this shit.
Well, if this is scored a 10-8 round for Valdivinos, and let's say you gave the previous 2 rounds to Valdivinos as well,
you've got an upset.
Molina could be in trouble and in jeopardy of losing his flawless record in one way or another here, unless he can come up with something big here in the final 30 seconds.
To be fair, even a draw would be an upset in this situation.
Oh, good shot. Snapping right hand from Molina.
10 seconds.
Molina giving a very good account of himself, closing out the 6th round.
Scorecards will be very interesting as Ricardo Valdivinos shocking the prognosticators here and making this one heck of a fight here to open our Before the Bell broadcast.
I still believe Molina won that fight. He did a lot of really good work, but he certainly got tested.
We'll see what the judges think of this one, Chris. I think whether Molina wins this fight or not, it comes down to, can you give him round 4 or 5? And if you can, then perhaps he can get the decision here. If you can't, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know, Valdivinos landed some good right hands in those rounds. Was it enough to win those rounds definitively? I didn't think so, but the judges may. I guess we will find out shortly. So
Fernando Angel Molina perhaps getting a little more than expected from Ricardo Valdovinos. But at the same time, when you turn pro at 16 years of age, you do hit these kinds of speed bumps. These do happen. When you've made the decision to effectively learn on the fly as a youngster, as a teenager, you will run into people like Valdovinos who are going to give you a little bit more trouble than perhaps the records and the resumes would indicate leading up to the fight.
I mean, absolutely. That's why we fight. I mean, we want to see what's really going to happen in there. And he's only 19 still. He's got a long way to go. But sometimes it works out really well. Look at our main event. Canelo Alvarez has been professional since he was 16 years old. Has come across many guys in many fights just like this one that were learning experience, stepping stones, and are now part of the legacy.
Looks like we are moments away from making this one official. Scorecards are in the ring, so let's send it down to our ring announcer, David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here at the T-Mobile Arena, we go to the judges' score totals. They read as follows. Don Trella, 57-56 for Valdovinos. Eric Cheek, 58-56 for Molina. And Kermit Bayless scores this bout 57-56 for your winner by split decision. He's still undefeated, Fernando.
Well, it was as close as we speculated it could be. Judges going in both directions, but ultimately, Fernando Angel Molina remains undefeated, and that was a little bit of a nail-biter, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we spoke about that during the rounds, especially in that last round with the knockdown. But yeah, the judges obviously saw what we saw, and it was a very close fight, and one that hopefully Molina will learn from, and their team can go back, look at the tape, go back to the drawing board, work on not getting hit with those right hands, because he got hit with a lot in the last 3 rounds.
Well, and now that he is undefeated, he can reflect on this as a learning experience. I mean, it's all great when you come out victorious at the end of the day. What do you think that Molina can improve upon looking at what we saw here tonight?
I think he can be a little bit more economical with that lead hand. I mean, it's a great punch, a combination that he uses off his left hand, the jabs, the hooks, the uppercuts, but he's got to be conscious of the defense as well. Get that head moving after you land that uppercut, after you land that left hook. Change levels instead of staying straight up.
We'll take a look back at some of the action from our opening contest, and it was a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys were going at it. In the beginning, it was all Molina, but by the middle rounds, 3, 4, 5, and 6, Valdovinos was really coming on. There you see the flash knockdown in the last round. Both these guys laid it all on the line in that last minute.
And Ricardo Valdovinos, obviously a little bit disappointed, but nonetheless, Fernando Angel Molina still undefeated.